to feed the 5,000. Yet you have millions of children that are starving to death. And Christ is sitting on the throne up in heaven. He's just watching the earth as we're waiting for his return to start a new heavens and a new earth. That is what even Black Hebrew Israelites are waiting for, Christ to return and bring
I'm not
about
waiting.
stop evil.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Okay.
waiting for Christ to return. This is
Okay.
Luke, New Testament, New Testament. This is Luke, this is Luke 19 and 13. It says, and he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy until I come. Do you know what occupy means? That means work.
Over 8,000 men have permanently broken free from the P word.
Oh my God, man.
Wide, UK wide, anywhere we build a school. North Carolina right now, we have a food drive where we feed people, we clothe people, we have a GED program, we have a rehab
Beautiful.
program, we go into the prisons, we do all that. We are
Beautiful.
occupying. I'm not waiting for Christ to return. I am occupying and doing the work. When Christ said the kingdom of heaven is in you, New Testament,
Hmm.
that means you establish it.
But this is Psalms 27, verse 14. Wait on Yahawah, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thy heart. Wait, I say, on Yahawah. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham Rakakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who rule well and teach well through the Spirit, and a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, in the same spirit and in sound doctrine. Lord willing that you all continue to endure and be sincere. Shalom to the Akwathiam, believers of his faith and his truth. Lord willing that you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing the most have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. This is just an edifying lesson to tell the true believers and elect to continue to wait on the Lord. Captain Tazariak said he is not waiting. And he gave a few examples on what he's doing. But that's not a form of being occupied. Now, yes, those can be good deeds. But if he is teaching the word of the Lord and he cares about the sheep of Yahawah Shem Yahawashi, we are supposed to occupy in the business of the Lord. Let's hop into it. Lord, when this is edifying. This is Luke, the 19th chapter, verse 13 in the KJV. And he called his 10 servants and delivered them 10 pounds and said unto them, occupy till I come. This is a parable. In the NLT, before he left, he called together 10 of his servants and divided among them 10 pounds of silver, saying, invest this for me while I am gone. Right? And we invested by what we do in this work, in this truth, in this ministry of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Let's look at what occupy means. Occupy.
Strong's G 4231. Pragmatuomai. Pragmatuomai.
The biblical usage is to be occupied in anything. Now we understand this is Yahawashi. We have to be occupied until he returns. A parable is an earthly story, but a heavenly matter. This is a heavenly matter he's speaking about. So we have to be occupied in anything that pertains to this ministry to carry on a business. Luke 2 and 49. Yahawashi at the age of 12, when his mother and father was looking for him, he said, why was you looking for me? I must be about my father's business. This ministry is the father's business. To carry on the business of a banker or a trader, and we're in business for Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Right? So, let's get a few more verses, and then I just want to see what does ChatGPT says. Right? I want to get another one. I want to go to Isaiah 40, verse 31. Isaiah 40 and 31 in the KJV, it says, but they that wait upon Yahawah shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. So they're going to wait. They're going to wait on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So let's look up wait, right? Kavah, to wait, to look for, to hope, expect, waiting, to wait or look eagerly for, to lie in wait, to linger. Believe when you look up the word linger, to wait around, persist, right? But it's to wait around, to collect, right? And if we're waiting around, we just read Luke 19. So you're being occupied while we're waiting on the Lord. Now, is other examples, because we're going to even go to ChatGPT and find out even more the sense that, what is waiting on the Lord is. When you look in the NLT, it says, but those who trust in Yahawah will find new strength and will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. So this wait is to trust in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. We go to Wisdom of Solomon 3:9. It says those that put their trust in Yahawah is going to understand his truth. Wisdom of Solomon 3:9. You can go fact check. You can go fact check that if you want. This is Psalms 37 in verse 7 to 9. In the KJV, it says, rest in Yahawah and wait patiently for him. Wait patiently for him. Fret not thyself because of him who prospereth in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off, but those who wait upon Yahawah, they shall inherit the earth. Now we seen in the other verse that waiting on the Lord is to trust him, right? And the Lord gave us things to even increase our trust in him, right? Psalms 130 verse 5, wait for Yahawah, my soul doeth wait. In his word do I hope, right? And really, hope is to have faith. Well, let's look at this one. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2, which I like this one. Verse 2, it says, and Yahawah answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak, and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So if you stay in this faith, right, you want to trust in the Lord that this is going to happen. But each day, each time, like every day is going, how do you increase your trust in the Lord? Right? Of course, you're having faith, but we use this spiritual tool, right, which is our spiritual sword, to build us up. That's why it says in Revelation 1:3, blesses he that believeth. Blesses he that readeth, and him that heareth the prophecies, and keep them. Right? Keep them. Right? We're supposed to apply these things within ourselves. We're supposed to be on guard on this word, right? And if you're a teacher and you're keeping these things and you got them on guard, am I my brother's keeper is what Cain said. A keeper goes into being a guardian. How do we be a guardian over the flock, especially as men? Teaching the word of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, knowing the wrong and the right, right? To guide them back to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. There's another video I watched where he said he teach about repentance, right? And that's what you're doing while you're waiting on the Lord. When you look at this in NLT, it says this vision is for a future time. It describes the end. It will be fulfilled. If it seems slow in coming, wait patiently, for it will surely take place. It will not be delayed, right? Even though this thing seems slow, still be patient, right? So still trust in the Lord. Hey, that's okay. Let's see what ChatGPT says. So I kind of asked it two different questions. It didn't hit the way I wanted. So I asked it again. I said, can you give me a meaning of waiting on the Lord? So you got trusting in his timing. It's not just being idle, it's about having full faith that Yahawah will move when the time is right. You believe that his plan is perfect even when you don't see results right away. Isaiah 40 and 31, which I brought out. But they that wait upon Yahawah shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. Waiting brings renewed strength and power, which is trusting. Remaining patient through trials, waiting on Yahawah, means not taking matters into your own hands out of fear, anger, frustration. It means staying faithful, obedient, and calm even when things are difficult. This is all pointing back to the ministry, having faith in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, let alone the things that's taught to you. You're having faith in this thing. You're being obedient to what he say you can do, what you can't do, and you're being calm. Psalms 27:14, what we brought out in the beginning of this lesson. Wait on Yahawah, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thy heart. Hoping in his promises. To wait is to hope and expect the Most High to deliver, protect, and fulfill his promises, right? Because the Lord is not slack. It's spiritual discipline, keeping your mind and heart focused on what he said and will do. How can you keep your mind focused on what he said? And we in this human flesh, a lot of us ain't going to be able to remember everything in this book. That goes back to Revelation 1 and 3. Blessed is he that readeth, let alone study to show yourself approved, especially as a man that is considering himself a teacher. Limitations 3:25-26. Yahawah is good unto them that wait for him. To the soul that seeketh him, it is good that a man should both hope, quietly wait for the salvation of Yahawah. Examples of biblical waiting. Abraham waited for the promise of a son, Isaac. But in between that, when you read about Abraham, he wasn't just sitting where some people just think, I'm going to just sit here and just wait, just sit here. No, he was still occupied, man. It says David waited many years to become king after being anointed. Yes, he went through trials, right? And he was still being occupied. He was still making moves and motions, still talking to the Lord, right? Still speaking of the Lord. David had courage, right? It says the Israelites waited in Egypt, then in the wilderness for deliverance. But even in that wilderness, walking around for 40 years in a damn circle, eating food. Yes, a lot of them was murmuring. You know, you had those that did have faith in the Lord, right? They still was thinking on the Lord. But really, from the time of leaving Egypt and getting into the land, it was only Caleb and Joshua, right? Many of the Israelites went right into the spirit world because of disobedience and murmuring, right? But in order to wait, for Yahawah, you have to be occupied in the faith. We wait now for Yahawashi to return and bring the kingdom. But if the kingdom is within you, which is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, we're going to occupy in those things. And I'm just speaking as a man that is a student and a man that is teaching, and I'm calling myself a prophet, that I know I'm waiting on the Lord. Let alone while I'm waiting on the Lord, I'm being occupied because he gave me the gift. What if I didn't have the gift of teaching? I still would be waiting because I still have to apply the things in the scriptures within myself, right? Me waiting is trusting on the Lord because those that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So in order to endure, I have to trust in the process. To trust in the process is to know what's going on in these scriptures, right? You either watching brothers teach this word, or you either teaching, you praying to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Hey, you might even fast more than you ever fasted, right? To be more connected to the Lord, to allow him to guide you even more, right? And the things that we learn in these scriptures, we apply it to our everyday to day, right? So the summary of this, it says, waiting on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi means trusting in his plan, being patient in trials, remaining obedient and faithful, hoping in his promises and salvation. When you look at Azariah, Hananiah, and Mishael, when they went in that furnace, they just didn't stand there and say, we're going to wait for the Lord to save us. They started to pray. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Bahasham Rakakodash, double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of great millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. Mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, teaching his word and believing his word. Shalom to the hopeful elect lady, whoever you may be, Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot. And with that, Lord willing, that y'all continue to be in the same spirit and in sound doctrine. Shalom, shalom, habab, babal.